Okay, so we would like to start with arrays. So this is going to be my array lesson. Y'all good? Okay. First things first. What is the purpose of an array?
It is to store information so you can access it later.
Okay, good. An array is an information storage place, essentially. So I'm going to start with a string array. So I'm declaring a string. You guys all remember how to declare a string? So what's special about declaring string versus floats, for instance? Yeah, string has to be a capital, and it includes some dot stuff. I'll show you in a sec. Okay, so I'm going to declare a string. I'm going to call it word. And for right now, it's going to contain a word which will be... Which will be what?
Giraffe.
Giraffe. Cool. What? It's not telling me that I spelled giraffe wrong. It's telling me that I'm missing a semicolon. And now it's telling me that the local variable word is not used. Okay, so in order to use the local variable and just double check that I got it in there, how do I double check that I got a variable initialized the way I want? Yep. Okay, so we're going to print, and we're going to print on a line. And what are we going to print? Word, which should print giraffe, right? In the, where do I expect that to show up?
In the compile console.
Yeah, I expect that to show up in the console here, not in the window. If I wanted to make it show up in the window, what command would I be talking about? Text. Very nice, guys. And cool. Why did it make this?
You didn't set the size.
Yeah, because that's what processing does, right? Processing's made to draw stuff. So it's going to draw stuff even if you don't tell it to draw stuff. It's going to draw the default 100 by 100 light gray background.
I looked at the reference for this and I couldn't find it. Is there a way to just say, no, don't make a window this time?
I have no idea.
Okay. Well, I couldn't find it, so I guess I'm not.
Yeah, I have not yet found a command that does that. It does not necessarily mean that there isn't one, but I have not found one.
Okay.
So you are not alone in looking for that, and you are also not alone in being productive. Okay, so I currently have my word printing out. Now, what if I wanted a list of words?
We'll make that into a string array.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my declaration and copy and paste it and put string, and I'm going to call this words, right? And I want to feed this sucker a list of words. Okay? I need a way to make it an array. If you want to know about something, where do you go?
Process.org/reference.
Good. Go to the API, look there. Oh, wow. Somebody else has been using my computer.
Sketchup. Sounds delicious.
Okay, cool. Good Chrome. Okay. Let's see. I wanted array in processing, right? And then I want to go to the API and okay. So looking at examples, what do you see? I don't, okay. So description, an array is a list of stuff. Cool, right? That gives me one spot to store a bunch of different information, right? Okay, the first element is the 0th element. Okay, weird, cool. And arrays have variables length, which does something. Cool. How do you actually declare an array? Does anybody see the array declaration line in one of these? Yeah, so there's two ways to declare an array and initialize it. So this is making a new array of what? Integers, right? How long is that array?
3012.
It is 3 things long, they are labeled 0, 1, 2. You guys see that? Okay, so when you're declaring, this thing is the total number of objects you expect to have in there, not the last index. Okay? And then you can individually assign values to the members of the array, right? So this is saying, okay, so the 0th thing in numbers is 90, the first thing in numbers is 150, and the second thing in numbers is 30. It's a little weird to talk about it being the second thing in numbers when it is, in fact, the kind of third thing, right? So 0th, 1st, 2nd gets a little funky. You guys all good with that? So if you want to be totally clear to people who aren't good at counting, they are the 0 index, right? The 1 index and the 2 index, right? Okay, and then down here, what's the alternate syntax line here, say?
Just write them in the numbers that you want.
In order.
Yeah, you just like say, okay, we're going to make an integer array. We're going to call it numbers. It's going to be this list of numbers. That's the syntax I'm going to use for string arrays just because I'm lazy. So I'm going to go get my processing thing open. And what was the part that made it from just a regular something to an array of those?
The
Square brackets.
yeah, square bracket.
Yeah, square brackets. Where do they show up? Do they show up after string or after words? After string. So you're going to make a string array words. And why is it complaining about that?
Because it needs curly braces.
It needs curly braces. And now it's complaining that I haven't used the local variable words, right? So I'm going to try to print words out. Type, what does that say? Type string array of the last argument to method println object doesn't exactly match the vararg parameter type. Cast to object array to confirm the non-vararg. What in the shite does that all mean?
Tell it which member of the index to print.
Yeah, it doesn't know how to print arrays. So you need to tell it which member of the array to print.
0. This is all.
So the first array element is in the 0 index spot, right? So we need to print the 0th element of the array.
Is that kind of like a logic error? Like you think print line, but since this thing could have multiple entries, you can't necessarily put all multiple entries.
Dude, that's a sweet question, right? Like, maybe the print command knows how to do it, but the print line command doesn't? That's a totally valid question, and it turns out that it doesn't matter. Good call, though, Chris. Excellent questioning of the man. Okay, so what do I expect this to do?
Print giraffe.
I expect this to print giraffe twice. Once because it's printing the string that just contains giraffe. Once because it's printing the word array element 0, right? Giraffe. And also I expect it to produce... What else do I expect it to produce? Yeah, I expect it to make a little window. Thank you, Lakin. Kick ass. Giraffe, giraffe, little window. Yes! It is, by the way, really good practice to try to figure out what it's going to do. Right? If you can pause before you push execute on all of these and just think to yourself, what do I expect this to do? You will be a better programmer for it. That is super good practice. Okay, let's see. So this was boring, right? Because I made an array with one frickin' thing in it. So let me show off that I can store some more stuff. So since we started with the theme of giraffe, what else you got along that theme?
Steak.
What?
We're going with animals. right?
Giraffe
Snake's an
steak.
animal.
Steak is an animal?
The steak of a giraffe.
Camel. Dinosaur.
Camel? What theme are you going with?
Dinosaur.
Quad-core processor.
Or call.
Sounds like quite the party. You could say it's in a rave.
It's with a K. Oh my god.
Oh, yes, it is with a K. You guys know what Kartoffel is? It is the German word for potato.
Octothorpe.
Sure. The heck's an octothorpe.
It's a hashtag.
Oh my.
That is the character for a hashtag. Okay, what do I expect this to do now when I print, or when I run this? What do I expect it to do? Yeah, I expect it to print giraffe twice and make a little window. Why is it not using the rest of that stuff?
Because it's only 0. It's only one of those.
Yeah, because I didn't tell it to do anything with that, right? It is doing very admirably its job.
Can you make it do more than one?
Yeah, what if you put I in the string thing and also in the
Oh, what if I tried to,
Do it for me.
like, get it to print out all of them or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, so in order to print out all of them, I need some kind of a loop through.
Yes, you need it in the inactive mode.
No, not necessarily. I can do it in static mode, but I need to understand how a for loop works. And I think you guys don't quite have... I haven't shown you a for loop yet. Okay, so let me fiddle with this for a second, and then I'll make another video showing you about how to use a for loop to do that. Okay, so it should be noted that when you're copy and pasting lots of code, like I'm about to do, this is a good spot for a for loop. How many things are in the array?
6.
So starting counting at 0, right? So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. There are a total of how many things in the array?
5.
There are 5 things, and the maximum index is 4. What have I told it to do here at the bottom?
Create an index out of bounds exception.
Print out the 5th one, which is going to probably kick some kind of error because there isn't a 5th one. You guys with that? So what do I expect this thing to do?
Yellow here.
Not.
I expect this probably to print out giraffe, giraffe, steak, camel, kartoffel, octothorpe, error. Right? And also
A window.
make a stupid little window, right? Dude,
Actually, the window looks weird.
okay,
It's white.
the window looks weird.
Nice.
What?
What is up with that?
It,
You can't click it.
Yeah, you probably can't kill it. It is not the standard little window because,
It has nothing to
It's
do.
frozen in time.
yeah, actually, it's frozen in time because you jacked up the code before it got to drawing the window, right? So it's still in the process of trying to draw the window. You guys see that? It's not going to stop trying, but it ain't going to do anything. You guys see that? How do you stop this if you can't click the...
hit the stop button at the top left.
Yeah, this stop button will stall that process out. Right, so that's going to tell the processing code to stop trying to execute, even though it's not done.
Sometimes it doesn't work and you have to go into the task manager.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't work. You have to go into Task Manager and kill processing. Sometimes you have to go into the Task Manager and kill Java. Sometimes restart the computer is going to be the answer, although thankfully not often with processing. It is pretty good about controlling.
Killing the
Usually the stop button works. Just FYI. So how do I fix the error that it's giving me? Array index out of bounds exception 5. What's that about?
You add a 6th thing, or you take that line out.
Yeah, either comment that line out or add another thing to the array. This is going to happen to you all the freaking time. You will get super used to seeing the out of bounds exception error. Remember what that means is that you tried to pull something out of an array that wasn't there. You were running a for loop too long, usually. Okay? So, // commented out. Sick. I have my little business going on here. Got all my stuff printed out. Any questions on the idea of an array?
How many did it print out? Let's see if it printed out more than 6. Or more than 5.
I got
Is that
giraffe, steak, camel, kartoffel, octothorpe, and these ones are the ones out of the array. Where did the other one come from?
The print line word.
Yeah, that came from that other print line. When you're debugging your code, it will probably happen to you that you'll forget one of these. Like you'll have a fairly long program, and someplace in the middle of it, you'll have been printing out something, right, in order to debug, and then later you'll have some more print stuff. So sometimes there'll be an extra thing printing. How do you figure out where all your print lines are?
The order of the.
Yeah, so you can look at the order of what's on the console, or if you're looking for them at all, right, you can do the find, Control F, and then type print line, right? And it's going to cycle me through all the places where print line appears in my code, so I can double check where everything's printing. You guys all good with that? Okay, cool. Arrays.